They are still working with all of these delegates to try and get them to change their mind. They want to know what he knew, when he knew it, and what he did about it. Lawmakers still want answers, and so do we.
They have made another line. They've got someone down on the ground over here right now. This is the tense situation that I was talking about, and anything could set it off at a moment.
You can see where the tornado came through, going all the way across, tearing through more homes.
It has been 72 hours since their escape, and last night another 21 prisoners at the juvenile detention facility behind me tried to do the same thing.
If you didn't know that there were 3 other Democrats in this race, you're not alone. Most people don't.
For more than a week here in Flint, Michigan, volunteers have been going door to door handing out fresh bottles of water.
That they had to say something, even if it was to say that this was really not a threat that anyone should worry about.
There is a building through the trees over there that you can just see the peak of the roof.
Hillary Clinton not going down without a fight here in New Hampshire. This is the last of several rallies she has held just here today.
Can you and will you subpoena Governor Snyder if he doesn't appear here?
So AAA actually expects this to be the busiest travel week since 2007. They say almost 47 million people are going to travel more than 50 miles for Thanksgiving.
But the police escort for this protest against the police has made sure that Black Friday shoppers can still get to their stores.
It's as small as this and as big as a tree through an entire house. It will be a long time before Waverly cleans up from this storm.
The Merrimack has flooded before, but never this bad. It's already at record levels and is going to keep rising throughout much of the night. Just a mile downriver from us is the town of Valley Park, and in a few hours, it may be part of the river itself.
If history is any guide,
I said I'd never put myself through this again.
Valley Park, Missouri will soon be underwater.
Here we are, putting through it again.
Tim Carew has learned from history, which appears doomed to repeat itself again.
In 1982, it came up to about the half foot from the ceiling.
When the first threat of flooding presented itself earlier this week, history said it was time to go.
I'd rather regret moving everything out and then having to move it back in because it didn't flood.
They got a U-Haul and the whole family started moving out. The town's levee, finished in 2007, is supposed to hold up to 42.5 feet. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the Merrimack River was already pushing the top of it and was set to go to at least 43 feet.
If it breaks anywhere, it's going to fill quick.
Today, the whole town was put under a mandatory evacuation order. Residents had until noon to get out, or they were on their own. Once people got past the police roadblocks, there was no coming back in. Not until after the river crests and the waters recede. History has shown that flooding on the Merrimack River is nothing to mess with.
Hopefully the water, it wouldn't ever get up that high. But
if the Carew's house goes underwater again,
so I'm going to leave this and this picture just to see if it does get up that high.
This could be the last time they evacuate.
They're talking about a pretty wet spring coming up. So, I mean, who knows if this does hold, if it doesn't do it again.
They've learned from history. It tends to repeat itself. After 6 days on the run, fugitive Floyd Cook got in one final shootout with law enforcement early this morning. This one, though, he could not escape. The man accused of shooting a cop was himself shot and killed by 2 Kentucky State police officers and a U.S. Marshal not far from us here in Burkesville, Kentucky. The man who tipped off last night's search, he spoke with us exclusively. Yet another massive manhunt in Burkesville, Kentucky Thursday night. Roads blocked off, eyes in the sky and on the ground, all looking for Floyd Cook. He was accused of shooting a Tennessee police officer last Saturday. That officer's bulletproof vest saved him. For 6 days, no one could find Floyd Cook.
He was walking up this way, and then when I hollered at him, he turned and walked back.
But Cook apparently found Jim Scott.
I hollered and asked him what he was wanting. Well, he stepped out right here on the sidewalk, and he said, I need a ride. And I told him, I said, you're not going to get a ride around here.
It was all caught on Scott's home security system that he had just installed a few months ago. Scott says he knew that face.
If I'd have known who it was for sure, it'd been different.
He says Cook did not appear to be armed, but Scott had his gun ready.
But I was 90% sure it was the fellow they've been looking for. You can't shoot somebody unless they've got a gun, no matter what the circumstance. You know.
Scott says Cook turned and went back down the road. He trailed him in his truck when a sheriff's deputy saw Cook too. Cook saw the deputy and took off again.
I wasn't 100% until he run.
The search continued. This time they knew he was close and he wouldn't escape again.
It amazes me that that he stayed on the run a long time, especially to be back in this area.
The city of Nashville regulates and inspects all legally licensed cabs in Davidson County. Those that are unlicensed may be uninsured, and those looking for a ride may not be able to tell the difference.
That's 87, right?
inside the Checker Cab headquarters in Antioch.
Okay, check. Thank you, sir.
The dispatchers are always busy keeping track of their cab drivers.
Checker Cab, can I help you?
But in a meeting room upstairs,
it creates a huge black eye on us and our industry.
other drivers are the topic of discussion.
We don't know what kind of insurance they have, you know, and it's a liability, and that's what we want, is someone to step in and help us with it.
The people at this table are all managers for different cab companies in Davidson County. They've been at this for years, and over the years, they've seen more competition show up. Illegal competition that they call gypsy cabs.
Our companies have to pay X amount of dollars. Our drivers are regulated. Our vehicles are inspected.
They can be hard to spot to begin with, but cab managers say illegal cabs in Nashville are beginning to look more and more like legitimate taxis. The only real way to tell a legitimate cab is to look for a decal from the city and the driver's taxi license, which should be on display.
In Nashville, we know there are some illegal cabs operating. We work to catch them. When we catch them, we get them off the street. Catching is a challenge because we need to catch them operating in Davidson County.
Cab managers say one of the biggest offenders is National Cab, which is licensed to operate in Williamson County, but not in Davidson County.
Hi, can I get a pickup at the Music City Center?
So we decided to call up National Cab at a spot that's definitely in Davidson County. The dispatcher told me a driver was less than a minute away.
Hi, how are you?
I asked for a ride to the News Channel 5 building downtown.
Can you take me to 474 James Robertson Parkway?
During our ride, the driver said a dispatcher told him to pick me up.
He sent me a text message, you close by there, come.
I just thought that you could only go where you were permitted to go.
Yeah, we are permitted to in Williamson County, and that's where we legally walk.
The driver told me it was just coincidence that he was nearby and able to pick me up, that it doesn't happen often.
I'm Todd Walker with Channel 5. I'm doing a story on cabs illegally operating in Nashville. And you told me that you're not licensed to operate here.
That's right, and we're not illegal. We're not illegally picking up people.
This driver said he was not allowed to turn down calls if dispatch told him to go there, whether it's in his area or not. He later acknowledged that wasn't true. National Cab's assistant manager told me over the phone drivers must return to their jurisdiction immediately after dropping off in Davidson County, which is legal. He said it is illegal to pick up in Davidson County. From this side of 7th and Church,
the Toyota and the Honda collided.
This is nothing more than a crime scene.
The individual who was seated on the bench is deceased.
56-year-old Philip Radican.
I come around, I see two cars and people waving, come, come.
But on this side of 7th and Church,
and there was a man there.
Sitting on the bench.
Sitting on the bench with his head, hair down, he was bleeding.
This was Willie's corner.
I snapped because his name was Phil, from what I understand. And if it is Willie Nelson, then everybody called him Willie Nelson because he looked like Willie. Very sweet man, you know.
He is believed to be a homeless individual who is known to our officers downtown.
It's not right. I'm sorry.
And on both sides of 7th and Church,
our officers had seen him quite a bit.
Willie will be missed.
I don't care if you're homeless or not, we're all people.
Well, you know, that would be the purpose, right?
On a day when you're supposed to remember what you're thankful for, there are about 10,000 of you.
You don't have to worry about it.
You should be thankful that your dinner is even served tonight.
Put in the garage.
Good luck there with that.
These people
And you should be good to go.
likely saved it.
We just are here to talk you off the turkey ledge. Just come on back down. We got you.
This is the Butterball Turkey Talk Line.
You have it wrapped in foil.
Put them behind the turkey's head.
We'll take them through everything that we can possibly do to save Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, at that point, yeah.
For 35 years, the call takers have been saving Thanksgiving dinner from coast to coast.
And they'll put you on speakerphone, and you'll be in the dining room, or you'll be in the kitchen, and they're all screaming at each other, or the dog's barking, or like you really feel like you're a family member.
We all work an 8 or 10-hour shift on Thanksgiving Day alone.
We actually opened at 6 in the morning, and before we got here, there were calls waiting for us to take.
Yep, it's just nice and easy.
The turkey troubles range from the simple.
So what you do, you take it out of the bag.
Some people are in a panic. They have forgotten to start the thawing process. It can be a lengthy time.
Last year I had to call her from Hawaii.
And the not so simple.
He put it out in the Pacific, and when he tethered it and whatever, when he came back, gone.
Really? 15-year-old turkey? No.
It's too late.
And then the ones that make working on this day
What about Turkey Talk Line may help you?
worth it.
This year I took a call from a 91-year-old man that had never cooked a turkey before. His wife had passed away this year and he was cooking it for the first time, so I took him through that process from start to finish.
And that is something to be thankful for.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to you.
For the now,
Yep, we're working all day today.
I'm Todd Walker in Naperville, Illinois.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, you know, the protesters have kind of scattered a little bit because this line of sheriff's deputies moved in as soon as they started chanting and walking down the street, although we might be seeing them reassembling a bit. We've got some more activity over here. Someone just left the courthouse right now. So this is still very fluid situation. And we saw protesters start chanting again. Not sure who this is getting into this vehicle here, but it's obviously riled up the protesters again. Again, this was a tense situation until the law enforcement moved in. They all kind of scattered. We're seeing them come back around again now. And we had police helicopters hovering above us. They have been moving around as these protesters here across the street, starting again. Officers are moving in. They're taking somebody down right now. There's a big commotion happening right now. We are not sure what's... We got a lot of confrontation happening right now. Officers fighting. People, guys, stay with us. This is happening live right now. Law enforcement moving in. Isaac, I'm going to bring you back with me here. Law enforcement trying to get a control of the situation right now. Guys, if you can still hear me, they have made another line. They've got someone down on the ground over here right now. This is the tense situation that I was talking about, and anything could set it off in a moment. We're not sure what started that. We got one person on the ground here. Law enforcement's moved in. We've already seen one arrest this afternoon. So guys, we're going to continue to follow this. Again, very tense here in Baltimore after the mistrial of William Porter was declared. The jury was hung on all of the charges. They could not come to an agreement after deliberating all day. We're going to monitor this, send it back to you. Looks like they are trying to calm the situation down right now. Back to you.
All right, Todd, as we just saw, I don't know if you can hear me, but as we just saw that situation there, very tense. What was the feeling through the rest of the city? I know you were in other parts of town today before you got to the courthouse.
The sheriff's deputies are moving us back right now. Moving us back right now. We're not... Guys, if you're still with us, sheriff's deputies just kind of bum rushed us here. We're not sure what sparked that. We're still alive here, guys. This is a tense situation. They're now shoving the media around. Isaac, come back here with me a little bit. Come back this way. We don't want to get ourselves run over. They've established the same line that they had before. This was the line that they had established before the fight broke out across the street. We're not sure what sparked any of this. But again, this is the kind of tense situation we're talking about. And law enforcement say that they're going to stay in control of this. They were pushing us around. They're obviously pushing the protesters around. The protesters are back here across the street. It obviously riled them up quite a bit. And so they're now marching down the street. We're not sure where this is going to go or whether that's going to get the law enforcement riled up again. And so this may spread throughout the city tonight. We're not sure. It's definitely a tense feeling right now. So we're watching protesters still set up in the street. Again, we're not sure what prompted those sheriff's deputies to rush across the street to take that guy down and then rush back at us. They yelled something in unison before they came at us, kind of pinning us up against the van. Again, this small group of protesters right now in the middle of the street, probably encouraged by what happened, only making them more bold right now.
Justice for that nigga Freddie
So certainly, this is something that people were concerned about. That's why they brought in all this law enforcement, and they're concerned about what's going to happen tonight. Now it appears that the situation has calmed back down, guys. Back to you.